Hi, welcome to the Best Ever You Global Summit. I'm Elizabeth Guarino here with our very own Kris Fuller, who is our next speaker. Entrepreneur, business leader, and incredibly positive, Kris Fuller provides an incredible value in professional and personal development. As the Chief Operating Officer of Best Ever You and the founder of Your Life Sparkles, Kris has touched thousands of lives. She is deeply committed to helping you achieve your goals and be the best version of yourself. Kris is also a #1 Amazon best-selling author, coach, and speaker. She holds degrees from the University of Alberta with honors and the University of Sedona. She's a very community-minded and proud member of her local Women in Business chapter. She lives in beautiful British Columbia with her cat, Mia. Please join me in welcoming the beautiful and positive Kris Fuller. Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of our Best Ever You Global Summit. I'm Elizabeth Hamilton-Guarino, here with our fearless, wonderful leader and always positive, glitter-throwing wonder, Kris Fuller.
Whoa.
How was that?
That's perfect. And that is what I'm doing. I always say that I have imaginary glitter and sparkles with me, so I can just throw those around to celebrate the little moments of life. I am so pleased to be a guest at our summit. It's fantastic. I've been here every day and I will be here every day, but I'm honored to have a spot where we're sort of highlighting and speaking to me. So thank you, Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful, and it's funny to interview you because we know each other, and so we're talking back and forth here. So I would like to know all about Kris Fuller. Take us. I'm going to start you all the way back in kindergarten. I need to know kindergarten, Kris, before we get started here. I go to kindergarten, Kris, to Your Life Sparkles in 2 minutes.
Well, I have always beat to the beat of my own drum. There's a story. I was in kindergarten, and my dad worked overseas, and he was home for a while this one time, and I came out sporting orange socks, a tutu, purple leggings, 5 sweaters, and some little thing from a dress-up box. And my dad was like, is Christina getting ready for school? And my mom said she is ready. And he was like, I don't think any of my kids are going to school like this. And she said, she's just started dressing herself. She's been wearing stuff like this all week. She's really proud about it, really excited. And this is what she's going to do. So I wore this multifaceted 18, and there's pictures, and I just look like I'm having the time of my life. And I think that set the stage for me being, this enthusiastic, energetic, positive person, having parents who really fostered and encouraged it my whole life, I would say. So kindergarten through school, I always did well, always loved school, always loved people, played on many sports teams, and was really connected with my community, with the church and the 4-H and just different clubs that were around. So, and with my sisters and brother, I have 2 sisters and a brother. So we were always hauled around to everyone's activities together. I mean, I know Elizabeth has a siblingship of 11. Is there 11 of you?
A lot.
Lots. That you would know what it was like to be toted around. But we lived 15 miles out of town, so when one went, we all went in the family van. Then fast forward, I got my education degree. I taught for 10 years in the United Kingdom and the provinces of Ontario, Alberta, and British Columbia. I moved to British Columbia when I was 30. I was coming out to help my sister with her family first baby. I fell in love with the area and decided to stay. And at that time, I had no job, no plan. I was just like, I like this area. There's lakes and mountains, and I feel like this is going to spark me joy. I'm staying. So in the 10 years following that, I changed jobs. Friends have said to me, you get bored and you move on. And I was like, I don't think bored is the right word. I think I'm looking for something. And it wasn't until 2015 that I started business for myself. I had worked in public education. I'd worked in the corporate world. I had worked for the government. I had done a bunch of different things. I started my own company, and I started by teaching paint classes because my minor is in fine arts with my education degree. And through that, I started to really, really discover how much joy I got from serving and helping others. And I thought, this is it. But this isn't quite it. And so during my time painting, the company grew, my following and my helping people grew. I mean, I remember people coming to paint shows with me, painting and seeking me out at the end and just thanking me with like heartfelt hugs and tears, saying, I didn't think I could do this. I was ashamed to come. I was scared to come. I thought I had no talent. And now I've come and you've helped me and supported me. And it became so much bigger than the painting event. And that is the moment, that connection. And I believe we are on this planet to connect. And that connection, that moment when I help someone is what I currently just live for. So I started to think, what could this look like instead of painting classes? And slowly but surely in 2018, I launched the start of Your Life Sparkles. And that words and phrase, like you, when you started Best Ever You, it just like jumped out at me. I was like, I have to do something sparkly because I frequently reference them. And I just think there is beautiful moments and beautiful things in our lives already, but we need to find them, focus on them, amplify them, love and cherish them. And so it's like me in the 18 layers outfit in kindergarten. I was allowed to love and cherish that. And yes, wear it to school. And to this day, you'll see me loving and cherishing little moments in big, delightful ways. And that to me has really made all the difference. And that's the difference I want to make in people's lives. So Your Life Sparkles started small with little local events and slowly grew. And I started involving other professionals and hosting Women's Day events at our local wineries and hotels where people would come together for a 10 to 6, 10 to 4, 6-hour day of listening to speakers about finance, about health, about wellness, about women's issues, because at that time they were just women's events. And me hosting and being delightful and talking about mindset and loving yourself and being kind to yourself and being your best in all different areas. So that is the most nutshell I think I could do of kindergarten to now.
That was a good one.
I haven't jumped into the cross the bridge into how I became aligned with Best Ever You, but I know we'll get there. So.
Well, yeah, you know, I'm looking down at, I want to make sure I look down at my notes to make sure I get everything right that we're going to ask each other here. So you'll see me look down every once in a while, folks.
That's all right.
Because you know, I want to talk about alignment. Let's put Amplify over in its corner for a moment and talk about alignment. And how aligned do you feel with Your Life Sparkles, and then how aligned do you feel with Best Ever You and how you feel they're aligned?
Yeah. That's such a perfect question because, like I said, when I was looking at the phrase Your Life Sparkles, I asked friends and I talked to sisters, and I know you went to a neighbor, and it just, when it was right, it was right. And I was like, this is it, Your Life Sparkles. I can say it, I can talk about it, I can anchor everything in that, and finding that sparkle within your life, because I think we all have it simply by being us, simply by being uniquely you. You're the only you in the whole world. And I just want everyone to realize that and to cherish it a little more. I want everyone to become their own best friend and really love themselves like a best friend. And so in looking at that platform and those ideas that I have, then I meet you, and it's so crazy how we met. And I'm going to jump around a little, but I know our listeners can keep up. Is when I met you, we met in a ladies entrepreneur group on Facebook, 300,000 women large. And we were there for one thing and one thing only, and that was to learn the skill of Zoom. And we did that. We taught each other Zoom. We met online. We had some audio fails, visual fails, all kinds of shenanigans. Those videos live in our YouTube somewhere. You can go watch them. But during the Zoom time, because, you know, when you're on Zoom, you're live and interactive and talking, you know, you're not just sitting there. And so what did we do? We did the get to know you. And lo and behold, as we talked about our values and our vision and our companies, honestly, every time you would say, and at Best Ever You, we're doing this, I was just like, oh, yes, and same for you.
You're doing it with me. You missed the second sentence.
Yeah, honestly, I just felt like everything out of your mouth, I was like, I was going to say that. And the things that you were striving for. But we talked about this too. You're like, I'm this established brand and I've been doing this for 12 years. And you're more like this emerging brand, this baby brand. And yet we have all of these buckets and capsules of similarity. And so my heart just sings with joy and sparks shoot out of my eyes when I think about Best Ever You now sponsoring Your Life Sparkles, and me being elevated to your we are collaborators, peers, and and mentors to each other in every sense of the word. And the projects we work on, and the way, this is a blessing that I don't think you can't, there aren't words to express what a blessing it is to have someone, to partner with someone like the way Elizabeth and I do. And I know when Ben was still here, and Peter, her husband, and my deceased husband would just comment, they're like, it feels like you guys have known each other for your whole lives. And that was on week 2. And so that's rare in itself. And then the other thing that is rare, you see us here, we're bright and shiny, and yes, we often are. But the way we talk with and to each other in our business platform It's very, I would say, cut and dry, but we're both champions of that because what we value is the authenticity and the honesty. Like, I'm going to tell about the business cards. I just designed us new business cards.
Did I get one?
And I sent them, sure. I sent Elizabeth her pack. I got my pack. We were so excited. I took mine out and I was like, oh, this is garbage. And so then I wrote, hang on, I got to stop something there. I wrote Elizabeth and I called you and I said, did you get your business cards? And she goes, I did. I said, I absolutely hate them. They're terrible. The graphics are blurred. The QR code is too big. The color's on the wrong side. And like, I approve them. I'm the one who did it. And Elizabeth was like, yeah, looks great. But sometimes that happens in the design world, what you see and what you get, and you don't marry it up. And so it's easy fixes, but it was so funny because she right away, she said, oh, I couldn't wait to tell you how awful they were. I was just waiting for the time. And I was like, yes. And so, but that's the thing is we're like, at the end of the day, what is our goal? And we talk about this. We're like, what is our goal? Our goal is not to embarrass, humiliate, or hurt you. It is to lift each other up together and to make it the best ever. And we say this all the time. It's not perfect ever, you. We're not perfect. And so there it is. There's mistake of the week. And I'm laughing about it. And I'm like, okay, well, it was just the sample pack. And now we'll adjust it, fix it, and get the right ones. And we'll love them.
Hilarious. But if, you know, too, but for people though, it's all, I'm going to add one word to everything you just said, and that's trusted, because it's a trusted space to be able to make those mistakes. Like I did something the other day in Facebook. I like read Pinkie Doodle Bug out loud. I'm like, I've really never read this book out loud. I'm like, this is the group to do it, you know, kind of thing. And so that matters so much to me, that you allow for that room to grow, because without those mistakes, you know, you can't grow.
And I think that is what, coming back to Best Ever You and Your Life Sparkles, you just nailed it when you said there's a safe space. That's what we foster. That's what we build. That's where and how we coach, whether you're coming to us for personal coaching or executive coaching or team coaching. We have an ability to create that safe space very quickly. And that has been given to us as feedback individually and newly as our collective. And so that is something that is so exciting to me as well, that we're both so aligned with that we're very committed to creating that safe and trusted space. And we do.
Yeah. All right. All right, Kris Fuller, let's give us a review of your incredible yes. What is an incredible yes, and what is yours?
So an incredible yes is a moment in time, a moment in your life that you said yes, and it changed your life for something bigger, better, more positive. And at the time, you might not have even known that yes was going to be that big or that monumental or that important. You might not have realized the impact, but the yes became incredible. And you can have more than one incredible yes in your life, but the one I want to talk about is January 12th, 2020. That's the day that I met Elizabeth and we had our Zoom call. And so it was saying yes to that Zoom call, because here's the situation too. On that thread, there were many women who said, I can Zoom next month, next Tuesday. Elizabeth was like, what are you doing in 7 minutes and 12 seconds? And I was like, that's my girl. And so it was, well, maybe it was the next day, but it was quick. And that is the pace that I liked, because I was like, I don't have time to wait. I need to learn this now. And so that yes to you, which led to our future conversations, which led to us now me publishing my own book, us publishing journals together, us publishing not one, but 2 children's books together, us working on our next series of authorship. And writing is a big thing. I don't know if everyone knows, Elizabeth and I are both authors in our own rights, and we bring it together with collaborative practice now. And I feel like I only ever want to write with you in future. I mean, that's not entirely true. I still write on my own, but I love writing with you. I love, one of the things that I was craving and that I wanted, and the incredible yes became so incredible for me. I craved and wanted a partner, but it had to be the right partner. I was looking for that person to fit into my dodecahedron, and I kept finding circles and squares and triangles, and I needed another dodecahedron.
You need to do the dodecahedron dance or something.
Honestly, I don't even remember how many sides that is. I was just picking a complex shape, because you are a complex shape. You fit my complex shape. Because I had tried with a few people that I thought, oh, I could see this person, but nobody was all in, and nobody quite fit the bill, or it was the wrong time because their kids were little, or whatever the case may be. And so, yeah, looking at that, I was like, oh, that is amazing. So the Best Ever You platform, and you and that incredible yes all together. If you were to ask me at the beginning of 2020, and this is the crazy thing, and I'm going to just digress a little and tell a little of my personal story. is at the beginning of 2020, Ben and I were happily married, and we had just decided that I was going to take a year off for professional development and exploding Your Life Sparkles onto the scene. I was booking women's conferences in California and in Florida, and sorry, Maine, I hadn't got to you, but I would have. Things I was going to go to, and I was ramping up what I was hosting. I was going to and planning huge events in Canadian cities, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, where I was going and speaking and doing all of these things. So 2020 was looking amazing. Enter COVID. Things had to be dialed back. That ended up being such a crazy blessing because it kept me home. And why that was a blessing to keep me home, and because it was February 26th, we'd been friends for 5 weeks, and I told Elizabeth the news that Ben had just been diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer that had already metastasized or spread to other organs. And so she was with me every step of that journey. I blogged about that journey every day, and it's still available on cancerwifeninja.com. And it's raw and it's real and it's funny too, because we live in joy and humor. And even in the face of this horrible, horrible cancer journey, it was just something that really helped me as a writer and as a sharer. And so the July came around, and in July, on the 16th of July, Ben passed away. And even that day, we didn't believe that it was going to happen. Like the way we were talking and getting to the hospital and different things. And I mean, even at one point, Ben, and the blessing for me is that we had those 5 months to really talk and really help me find a peace and a freedom that I'm still working towards, but I hear his voice in my ears. And some of it is really serious and some of it is really delightful. And some of it is both, because one of the things that he did talk to me about was, he said, I really want you to find love again. Like, you're only 43. You need to find love again, and you need to live your life. And I was like, no, you're not going to die. It's only you. That's it. And then later he had made a joke. He's like, I really do. He mentioned it a few times. And he's like, just promise me one thing. He said, just don't get a boyfriend while I'm still here. And at that time, he was on a hospital bed in our living room, and there was machines and things around him. And it was just like this delightful man. I'm sitting there holding his hand and rubbing his feet. And he's like, just don't get, and we laughed because I said, what am I going to do? Bring a boyfriend over to the couch and be like, could you please interview with my husband, who's still alive, by the way? So we just laughed, because laughter is the best medicine. He had such a good sense of humor and, different things. So that, being a widow, and people don't believe it. They're like, you just said you were a widow. Who are you talking about? I'm like, no, it's me. I am a new widow. It hasn't even been a year yet, but that, I didn't predict meeting Elizabeth in 2020. I didn't predict becoming a part of the Best Ever You network in such an impactful and huge chief operating
officer way.
Yeah. I didn't predict being an author this year and a new widow and getting a #1 Amazon bestseller 2 times. It's just mind-blowing to me. And so when I say incredible, yes, for me, it is like off the charts incredible. And it has changed my life. And I tell Elizabeth this all the time. I'm like, you, Elizabeth, have changed my life. So,
and you, Kris Fuller, have changed mine as well, and your sparkly self. So, all right, take a deep breath over there. I know that's tough, what you just talked about and everything. That's I love you. And we talked about grief with Dr. Ivan Meisner, who just lost his wife. And, one of the things when you talk to Kris, if you don't know what to say, ask her.
Yeah. I'll tell you what to say. No,
I know.
Honestly, I am easy to talk to,
because you don't feel like you have to walk on eggshells around Kris. And if you're struggling for what to say, because it can be really tough to know what to say to somebody grieving, and you're still grieving. And if you don't know what to say, just ask, because you'll say what you'll give us a big clue. And I've had days like that where I've asked you specifically. I just think there's lessons in grief.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I was really proud of that was that Ben got to see our journals. I just thought that was so cool that he got to see our journals. So let's hold those up.
Yeah, I will. So this is the first project that Elizabeth and I completed together. And this little blue journal here is the Best Ever You 52-week journal to your bravest, boldest you. And it is beautifully illustrated, and it is lovely blue with flowers and coffee mugs. It's got 52 questions, 52 prompts for writing, and you write about yourself in the journal. And you write answers to our questions, and you get to know yourself better. And this ties into the Best Ever You Network's 6 principles. And the 6 principles are all about the core of you, art of you, heart of you, humanity, sport, and spirit. And they're all explained in detail here, right? Because it's a head to toe health and wellness inside and out. And so getting to know yourself a little better is always something on your way to becoming your best. And so speaking of becoming your best, we also have this one that says being your best. These 2 journals are the same, they just have a different branding. So we did this one with the hearts and flowers and pretty, and then we made one that is black and white grayscale with ocean, and it's also just a beautiful journal, and inside is black and white. Just 2 different styles for what suits your needs in that. So we published the first journal in July. Ben saw it and was so proud of me and so proud of us. And he honestly was like, fun fact, Elizabeth and I still have not met 1 year and 2 months later.
Yeah, I always forget about that. I feel like I meet you every day. Yeah, but no, we saw you in person. Yeah.
I know. And Ben couldn't believe that either. He's like, I just can't believe we haven't like had them over for supper. And I mean, part of it is we're in Western Canada and you're in Maine. But him getting to see the journal was really special to me. And so those journals, this one went to an Amazon #1 bestseller. The first 3 weeks it was out, first week maybe. And that is just a testament to how impactful it is, but also our network. We're so grateful for everyone who supports us. And that was awesome.
Yeah, and both of those come with a free course too. So when you buy the journal and then you turn the page, there's information there where you can take a free course on besteveryou.com. So I think that's pretty special.
Yeah, that is awesome. And that us doing that course together also brought us closer together because we got to find out more about each other and learn and develop. And I love that too. And that journal launched us into this journal. And this journal looks the same, but it's different because it says Best Ever You, 52-week journal to your healthiest best you. And then inside you can see there are charts and checklists and things for keeping track of your health and wellness. Right, again, from your mind to the tips of your toes, inside and outside. And so both of those are tools we use. And I think everyone knows that Elizabeth and I are both master life coaches, master certified coaches, I should say. And we use these as tools to help you discover and be your best.
So Kris, thank you for the journal rundown. Those are all fun, but you've got books on your own too, and specifically this new young adult book. You want to tell us about that one?
Yes, I do, and I have it in my hot little hands. So this is Terramara, and Terramara is the story of Mara's transformation, book 1. And what it is a story of a magical world called Terramara, where there's enchanted rivers. They run both ways at the same time. And there are little water sprites called Marilias, and there's humans, and the river is magical and it's losing its powers. And so Mara is one of the sprites who has to save Terramara. But of course, she can't do it alone. So it's the adventures of Mara and her best friend Ada and a bunch of the humans who get involved as well. So it is a chapter book, and it is 120 pages long, and it is just delightful. So this was published by Waldorf Publishing in Texas, and it came out in November of 2020. And again, this is a connection that I got because of you. I'd been looking for a publisher, and you just were someone that knew someone and said, oh, they've opened the gates at that time for new authors. And bing, bang, boom, before I knew it, this beauty is in my hands. So it is very special to me because that is a project just me, and I love it, love it, love it. But the other book for young people that I love, 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 and I think you'll recognize this beautiful thing, is
there she is,
Pinkie Doodle Bug. Yes. So Pinkie Doodle Bug is just delightful. She is a little bug that lives in the forest, and she loves to doodle, and she has nothing to put with her doodles. That's the problem. And all her little forest friends come out and help her, and they give, so there's Clara the caterpillar, and there's
Sally
the bunny, and oh sorry, that's Sally the spider. I had it backwards. And they all help, and they all write stories for her and her drawings. And so it really is a story about collaboration, and it's just beautiful. And it's so great, speaking of collaboration, because it was a project Elizabeth had started, and then she invited me in, and now this is a collaboration from us. So we have done Pinkie Doodle Bug together, and we have Pinkie Doodle Bug's Forest Dance on the horizon. That's coming out in May. Like, it's just around the corner. And so Pinkie Doodle Bug, I love it. I have dreams about Pinkie Doodle Bug. We're going to
that one needs to be an animated
whole series of books. Yeah, whole series of books be animated. Oh, just I love it.
So what projects are you most proud of?
Most proud of, do you know what, I do love all the books and things we're writing, but one of the things that I really love that's near and dear to my heart is we've started, as you know, Percolate Daily. And that is a Facebook video that we post every single day, our commitment to ourselves and our commitment to our audience to help you set up your mind for whether it's the start of your day, whether it's a coffee break, whether it's the evening and you just need to reset. We do a head to toe sort of get into a nice peaceful state. We do some heartfelt mantras and some breathing. And that commitment to you and to me has made a huge impact. But people that are joining us in that Percolate Daily, the feedback has just been incredible. And it reminds me, like, this is why I want to do this. People are like, you help me refocus, you help me renew, and even just for those moments. And I talk about moments all the time because I just believe that life is a series of moments, and every moment, all we can do is live in that moment and we get to choose. So I'm really proud of the Percolate Daily project, which of course piggybacks on your book, Percolate. I'm really proud of the way that I have learned and integrated and been embraced by you for so many things. So I'm very proud of you for that too, that you are able to invite me into your platform in such a loving way. You're not like, this is mine and this is yours and we'll do this. Everything has become really holistic with us. And I'm really proud of that because I think that takes a special partnership too, even though, you know, I wrote Terramara and you wrote Percolate, we still partner and champion each other. And I think that no matter what we're doing, like, I'm proud of those journals, and I would love for us to be known as the journal queens. You know, I have plans for journals. Like, more journals. I'm like,
what are your future plans? It's journal queens.
I really do. But I'm such a journal girl. I love writing and I love journals, and I love journals with all different content. And I am so excited to be the creator of more, but I love doing it with you. So I'm looking forward to that.
Percolate for a minute. I'm going to interrupt you for a second and go back, throw you back over to Percolate Daily for a minute, because just to piggyback on how special that is. I mean, we have children we have moms going, I'm doing this with my children. I'm fabulous. I mean, oh my gosh, is that not the cutest thing you've ever heard? It's totally rating. So you can bring your kids over to Percolate Daily. It's like $21 for the whole year to be here every day. It's a video. It's about 5 minutes long. And whether you're like you said, whether you're waking up or doing a coffee break or nighttime or wherever and it's free replays, you can do whatever you want. But people are saying it's completely changing the way they operate in their day. They go there. It's like a go-to point. That's so cool. Yeah.
I recently had a woman write me and she said, I forgot to chime in. And she said, but I really wanted to. And so I was home and I did it in the evening. And she said, and my husband kind of like over his shoulder looking. So then she said, get over here and do this with me. She said, we did it together. And she said, it was so delightful because it lifted him up. Like she said, I could just see him being like, because there is an energy to it because it's Kris and Elizabeth, but we bring that energy on purpose to that. And I mean, we are celebrators of authenticity as well. But in those Percolate Dailies, we really help you find that moment to just let negativity go and embrace this moment as being fabulous or being marvelous or being joyful or whatever it is. So yeah, that is awesome.
So what do you do when you put your hands right here? Let's do it for everybody. Ready? No, the heart, the think.
Oh yes. So think with your heart. So yeah, that's right. Yeah. And we touch our hearts and we do say a lot of beautiful things and stuff to encourage and inspire you. So that all matters. So that is something, and I'm glad you circled back to that because I think it is awesome as well that people are doing it with their kids. I think you can never start mindset work too early to believe in yourself and love yourself and really go forward with that. It's a life skill that in this day and age, I think is getting more attention and more known, but it really needs to keep on going.
So we're going to run out of time here, but we talked about your incredible yes, and I've got 2 more questions for you. So the first one is, what are your hopes for the future?
So my hopes are to keep working with you and Best Ever You for 1, 2, 5, 20 years. I see my retirement with on the Best Ever You yacht. Oh
my God, can you not? I could just visualize everything, and it's like, oh, this is so fun.
I also would see you and I taking our platforms bigger and bigger. So I know we've talked about what it would be like to have a TV network, what it would be like to have a team working with us and for us. And I love teams and I love growing and that sort of thing. So what I see in the future is more of this, but just exploding. And I think with you and I at the helm, we have that potential, and with everybody supporting us, because what we know for sure is we don't do it alone. And so when I think about our future, I just feel, like I said, for the first time in so long, so hopeful and excited, because I'm like, oh, this isn't, I'm not going to change jobs every 3 years and be like, oh, I'm bored with this, I'm bored with that. Like, this is it. And I feel so my hopes are that we just continue and continue and continue. And that
boredom is definitely not a thing at the Best Ever You Network. That does not exist.
Yeah.
Pause maybe, but not boredom.
Yeah.
Okay, so my second question for you is, so we always ask our thought leaders and our speakers and everything, what is a best tip on something? And so for you, I'm going to ask you what your best tip on connection and community is.
Yeah. So connection, and I really believe we are designed to connect. We were built to connect. If you are thinking about it, I encourage you to do it and take it to the next level. So if you comment on somebody's Instagram or Facebook on social media, take it to a private message, because that means a little bit more. If you're about to do a private message, think about giving them a text or a phone call. And don't let that moment pass, because those moments when you choose to connect, that matters. And if you ever think, oh, I don't think they want to hear from me, or they're not in the mood, even if they don't answer, I know I've done this. I've seen my phone and someone's calling, someone that I love and adore. I don't have the time to talk to them, but that moment where I just saw that their number popped up, it warms my heart. And so when you have an instinct or a feeling to connect, just do it. Just do it.
All right, Miss Chief Operating Officer of the Best Ever You Network and founder of Your Life Sparkles and author of many journals, Journal Queen, co-journal Queen, and amazing author of Terramara. It's been really fun chatting with you, and I hope our audience has fun getting to know you better, has had fun getting to know you better.
Thank you so much. We're going to sign off with throwing imaginary glitter in the air, because that's how I roll. So toss it.
I got one hand because I got to hit the end button here.
I'll keep sparkling glitter until you tell me.
Here, and I think that was a really important conversation that we had with Dr. Ivan. So I'm going to keep going, and you can't, some of these questions. Hang on one second. I'm not asking you that. So hang on, you're gonna go. What's it like?
Yes, you are. I wrote some of these
you
questions.
You really want to know what it's like working with me? We just did that, didn't we? Okay.
Yeah, I already did cover it. I just wanted to talk about how raw and real we were with each other.
Yeah. All right. Hang on. Okay. So Kris, you just recently wrote a young adult. Hang on. Fantasy. Hang on. I'm just going to say a book for young adults.
Okay. That's our 3, 2, 1 wave.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.